So then guys, we have big news. The next generation iPad mini is going to have 8 GB of RAM inside of it, and it's also going to have Apple Intelligence too. So today I want to tell you all the latest and greatest details about the brand new iPad mini, including all the spec changes and everything we're going to see, and also when the release date will be, and also the price too. But first of all, a quick history lesson with the current iPad mini. The last update we got to the iPad mini was back in 2021, and this was at the same time that the new iPhone 13s got introduced. The current iPad mini has an A15 inside of it, and this is the same chip that was put inside the likes of the normal iPhone 13. But the biggest change we saw in this iPad was its whole new design. This was the first iPad mini not to actually have a home button on the bottom of it in the center. We've actually got a design that's very similar to the likes of the current iPad Air, but just literally just made smaller. That is what we've got. We've actually got the fingerprint scanner in the actual home button, just like the iPad Air right now. And then also the actual design and the single camera is very similar to what we have in that current M2 iPad Air. Obviously, the two of the biggest changes is with the current iPad mini is obviously it's far smaller, an 8.3-inch display, and then on top of this, the iPad mini's camera sits at the very top in the portrait mode, and it's not sitting on the horizontal mode, just like every other iPad in the current range at the moment. Apart from this, the iPad mini has the usual kind of bells and whistles that it has. So for example, it has the stereo speakers, and it also has a USB-C port at the bottom for charging. But what about the next generation iPad mini? Are we going to see any design changes whatsoever? And also, what other kind of upgrades will we get with it? Well, to start with, most likely the actual design of the current iPad mini probably won't change, because it only just got changed in the last sort of iteration of it, so I cannot see this being changed whatsoever. But one thing that I would say is that a lot of people have said there's kind of a jelly scrolling kind of problem, and we've actually heard leaks and rumors that Apple have addressed this and fixed this problem for the next generation of the iPad mini, so you won't have this problem anymore. But most likely that the actual display will stay at a 60 Hz display. You won't be getting a ProMotion display just like we get on the iPad Pros and the iPhone Pros. This will still be the exact same display, 60 Hz refresh rate, just like we've had before, just like what we're still getting, say, on the iPhone 16s, and also with the iPad Air, and also the iPad 10th generation. And then moving on to the actual camera, well, the sensor inside of this could be upgraded to one of the 48 megapixel sensors, very similar to, again, what we got in the iPhone 16 normal right now for the wide one. But apart from that, nothing else will really change. You probably won't get dual kind of cameras on this iPad whatsoever. And then most likely the actual fingerprint scanner will stay the same. We won't get Face ID or anything like that added to this iPad. And also, I'd actually say this, that the actual camera at the moment, as it's sitting in a portrait position, and especially as so many other iPads have moved over to landscape, I think it's going to be unlikely, as you can see like here, that it's going to be moved to the actual side because of the actual size of this actual iPad that we have right now. But then, moving along though to battery life in this iPad mini, well, we could actually see some changes here, what are quite exciting to see. And mainly this is to do with the A18 being added into this iPad mini. At the end of the day, if Apple decide to keep the same battery size in this current iPad mini and not change any of the dimensions, it does mean that the A18 is far more efficient than the current A15 that is inside of it right now, and even more powerful. So the great news is that probably battery life, we will be able to get a couple more hours extra juice out of this iPad when it actually is released, what's really awesome. And talk about the A18, well, it will be probably the normal A18 that you see inside the normal iPhone 16 and the 16 Plus. It probably won't be the A18 Pro, unfortunately, not just yet. It will just be the normal A18, but like I said, that is a real powerhouse of a chip on its own. And along with that too will be 8 GB of RAM inside of this iPad, what will be absolutely amazing, because this will enable Apple Intelligence on an iPad mini for the first time. So with the A18 and also getting that 8 GB of RAM, Apple Intelligence will be ready to go on an iPad mini on day one when we actually get this coming out, because Apple Intelligence is going to probably be released just before this iPad mini. And I'm going to talk about the release date and price in more details just after we talk about the giveaway on this channel. And that giveaway is for this. This here is an iPhone 16 Pro Max, and I'm going to be giving this away to one lucky subscriber near the end of December time. And if you want to enter into the giveaway for this iPhone 16 Pro Max, all you have to do is just put down into the comments below of what Apple gear, or even if it's not Apple gear, you know, you might be getting yourself a PlayStation 5 Pro if you want to get yourself one of them or something else, in the end of 2024 or even into 2025. Put it down into the comments below right now. Now, what I will say is near the end of December time, I will be making a video giving you a few more details about the giveaway, including a form to fill out around that time too, so you don't want to miss out on that video. So if I was you, I would subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell, because that's when I'll be telling you more details about the giveaway then. And plus also you need to be a subscriber, because that's who I'm giving this away to. But the iPhone 16 Pro Max that we have right here is the Desert Titanium, or Titanium Desert, whatever you want to call it. And it also is the 256GB storage model that we have here. And like I said, I'm going to be giving it away to one lucky subscriber on this international giveaway on this channel. The only other thing I want to quickly say is that sadly there are still lots of scammers and spammers out there. People still impersonating me right now, telling you to WhatsApp, telling you to Telegram, telling you to even, Instagram, direct message and all of this sort of thing. Please do ignore these people, because obviously they're scamming you, or better still, as you can see right here, please do report them. So, moving on then, what about the actual release date then for this iPad mini? When are we most likely going to get it? Well, the good news is it looks like it's going to be coming before the end of 2024. And specifically, when we could probably be seeing it is the next Apple event was happening at the end of October time. This is the main event for all the latest M4 devices out there, like the MacBook Pros, the Mac Mini, things like this. But what will also be revealed is probably the brand new iPad mini at this event. And it's looking right now that the event sort of date is going to be probably October 28th or October 29th. That Monday or Tuesday at the end of this month. And then most likely we'll be able to get our hands on this new iPad mini probably a few days later on the Friday of that week. And that will be November 1st. So to be deadly honest with that, at the time of making this video, that's only a matter of weeks away. So yeah, really close now. We're going to finally get this update to the iPad mini. But then, moving on to the price then of the iPad mini, what's this going to cost us when this comes out? Well, most likely it's going to retain the current price that we have right now, what is $499 US, well, starting at $499 US for the 64GB option. We may get an upgrade to 128GB as the base amount of storage on this, but the price is probably going to stay the same at $499 US, what will make this the cheapest device at the time of its release to have in Apple Intelligence inside of it, at the price of $499 US. Now, before everyone kicks out and says, well, Apple would never offer it for $499 US with Apple Intelligence, what you've got to remember, the iPad minis, in most generations what they've come out in the past, they've always had the latest and greatest chip inside of it. So obviously that was the A15 when that came out with the iPhones back then, and now we're on the A18, what has Apple Intelligence. So, it makes sense for Apple to put the A18 inside of this iPad that we've got right here. The only other choice they'd have is the A17 Pro, but I doubt they'd put that. And the A16, well, that's far too old, and they'd have to reduce the price down of the iPad mini, and no one would really buy it without Apple Intelligence. So yeah, there's no much point there doing that. So personally, I do believe it will be the A18, and the price will be staying at the current $499 US. But really, guys, that is the latest and greatest that we know about the iPad mini. Are you going to be getting one when it comes out? Let me know in the comments below. And with that as well, guys, it's time to wrap up this video. So if you have enjoyed watching it, please do press the like button. Also, if you want to hear the latest Apple news, reviews, and comparisons too, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also hit that notification bell. Until next time, guys, I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye bye.